As they say, anything can happen on Wrestle Lost. Welcome to Wrestle Lost, folks.
Ah, yes, you can. Here, it's the wrestling or the cast.
The sniper.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wrestle Lost. It's been very interesting. There's been a lot of shit being talked ever since last weekend. So to get it going, here's Johnny.
Okay, just a few notes from the Battle on the Ballet show last week, which we live streamed on Twitch and Facebook, and for a while on YouTube. If you saw it on YouTube, hopefully you saw it live because it was taken down right after.
It sure was.
But it's okay, we understand. But anyway, so in the crowd was well, Bailey was there. She was hiding under a mask, but she eventually took off the mask because she got so excited into the Mercedes Kyrie match, and Mercedes, she did the Bailey to belly on Kyrie, and that got the fans chanting for Bailey. Others in the crowd were Scott D'Amore of Impact, Lars Frederiksen of Rancid, and interestingly enough, sitting next to Lars was CM Punk. He was in the crowd as well. Yep. And without a sling.
Yeah, it's I heard about CM Punk being there. The first time I heard about it, I was like, "Are we sure? Do we have physical evidence that he's there?" Because
Yeah.
not that I doubt anyone, but I have to see something to believe it. But so many people were talking about it that it had to be true.
Also, Naomi and Tamina were there as well. But yeah, it's starting to look more promising that CM Punk gonna be back in AEW, which brings me to the AEW Fight Forever game, which is taking forever to come out. It was delayed the first time after Brawl Out because they wanted to remove CM Punk's image from the cover, and now it's being delayed even more because they were trying to get the rating to a teen level. Because at first, this game actually would have had an M rating, because I've heard it described as in some matches like exploding barbed wire death match and unsanctioned match would leave the ring looking like a murder scene.
Sounds
Showing
about
you
right.
how intense this game is going to be. I've heard different things of when it's actually going to come out. I've heard some people say it's not going to come out till the end of the year in December, but also I know someone was talking about seeing it on BestBuy.com release date of March 31st, which is only about 2 weeks after WWE releases 2K23. So if that date is true, I need AEW to announce that date so that way people who were thinking of getting 2K23 might want to change their minds, because I know if that's the date that they're going out with, I'm going to change my mind. Actually, it's been in my Amazon pre-order since last August, so I'll get it either way.
Yeah, if the release date is 2 weeks after 2K23 comes out, I'm not buying 2K23.
Yeah.
But if I do have to wait for that December release date, I don't think I can go a whole year without trying out a new game. as far as wrestling. So I don't know, man. I don't want. 2K23 is not on the top of my list of games to buy.
Yeah, especially did you see who the pre-order bonus was?
No.
If you pre-order, you get to play as Bad Bunny.
Fuck it, not buying it. Don't care. Don't care that much. Not buying it.
Yeah, that's what Michael Cole was advertising on Raw the other night, or on SmackDown last night.
Is there any way of deleting him? Delete.
I mean, you could wait till it comes out on the day, and you don't get him. He's only a pre-order bonus.
No, I'm not. I'm not that. Fuck it. If I do buy it, it's not gonna be through pre-order, so I wouldn't get him anyway.
Yeah.
Already starting off like, and I already feel the blood boiling a little bit.
The last couple weeks we've been expecting to see Trish on Raw to accompany Lita to go along with Becky Lynch against Damage Control. She was in the building for Raw in Ottawa this last week, but they changed, the creative plans changed, and she left. She left the building. What I'm hearing is that she's maybe getting to do a storyline that she's been wanting to do for some time, and that's a Trish heel turn. So, also for this Monday's Raw in Michigan, it's been advertised that Ronda Rousey will be on the show as well. So, I'm not sure what to expect. I don't know if because Lita and Becky are gonna face Damage Control for the tag titles. So I don't know if Shayna and Ronda are gonna challenge for them, or if that's when Charlotte comes, or not Charlotte, Trish comes out and we get the heel turn. You know, there's lots of possibilities there.
Yeah, one of the things I heard today is that some people are speculating that when Trish comes out, it's going to be a heel turn, like you said, and that she's going to actually help Damage Control retain.
Right. And so what we might get at Mania, we might get Shayna and Ronda versus Damage Control, and then we might get Becky and Lita against Trish and Bayley.
Yeah, that's what I heard today. I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah.
Because as much as I like the women's division and the single storylines they have going on, you throw in Lita and Trish into the mix,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna love it even more. So,
Because I'm not too hyped on the two women's title matches for Mania. I know they're trying to push Charlotte and Rhea to main event night one.
I am more interested in Charlotte Rhea than I am
Yeah.
the Bianca match.
Yes. Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah. For that match, I just want Asuka to win.
Yeah.
But then I've also heard that night one could also be main evented by Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos for the tag titles.
If that's the way they decide to go, because this week kind of fed into that a little bit more,
Yeah.
but it could still go either way.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. Jeff Hardy's case, his DUI case, has officially closed. With he's had several penalties levied on him. He spent I believe it was 38 days in jail. He's his driver's license has been suspended for 10 years. His car was impounded for 3 months. He has an interlocking device on his car for 2 years. He's had to do community service. So and also obviously attend rehab, which he's done. I actually think he got off pretty easy, really.
I mean, even with all the things you just listed there, yeah, I think he did get off pretty easy. Because if that would have been anybody else, it would have led to jail time.
Yeah,
So the fact that he just got community service, his car's impounded, and his license suspended for 10 years, it sounds like a lot, but it isn't considering what it could have been. And the fact that he can return to do some wrestling after rehab, it's something that he should do, and I think he's working towards it.
I think we could see him after Revolution.
Yeah, a lot of people are focused on the fact as to when he's going to be back, but I'm not so focused on that. I just want him to get through rehab first
Right.
and get himself right, and then we'll worry about when he can return. But until then, that's not my focus.
Right. When he does return, I need him to get back together with Matt. I need them to get Matt out of this whole firm storyline.
Yeah, I think that's dragging out too long
Yeah.
just because of the whole Jeff Hardy situation, but you can't control that, man.
Right. Coming up in the month of May, after Mania, WWE have 2 pay-per-views planned for May, or 2 Premier Live events. So May 6th is Backlash, which this year is going back to just regular Backlash. No more WrestleMania Backlash. And then May 27th, which is Memorial Day weekend, on that Saturday, which is the day before Double or Nothing, we're going to get the King/Queen of the Ring Premier Live event, which we haven't had one of those since 2002. So it's about time they brought that back.
Yeah, I'm glad that's going to be a premium live event again. As long as they do it right and the winners actually mean something, I'll be fine with it. But I'll wait and see until they actually do it. But as long as like they get title shots or something out of it, that's all I want to see. I want it to be what it used to be, and I'm hoping that's what it's going to be now that it's going to have its own night.
Right. Yeah. All right. So to end the news on a funny note here, did you hear the Undertaker talking about how he had his nose broken by an ass?
Who did?
The Undertaker.
Had it broken by an ass?
Yes. So I can't remember the exact details of when it took place, but this is back when in his career. So he was wrestling Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio did a move off the top rope where he was supposed to land on the Undertaker's stomach or midsection, but instead landed on his face, ass first, and broke his nose.
I mean, a broken nose sucks. We all know that from what we've seen with Britt Baker and with Becky Lynch.
And Undertaker was quoted as saying that he has a bony ass.
So here's where my mind went as soon as you said broken nose. I assumed it was from an
Ricky.
ass. But if it was gonna be anybody's ass, it's gonna be Rikishi, dude.
That's
Doing
what.
a stink face or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's where I thought you were going
yeah.
with that.
I as soon as you said that shit, the first thing that popped into my mind, it was like, how many? I wonder how many noses Rikishi broke.
Yeah, you know how Jeff Cobb's finisher is called the Tour of the Island?
Yeah,
I think Rikishi should change his to the Tour of the Asshole.
tour of the Asslands, cause that bitch is big. Yeah. Look, man, Undertaker's doing this run right now where he's telling a whole bunch of stories,
Yeah,
like a one man show type of thing.
yeah.
I hope we're able to maybe do that shit one day
Yeah,
if he
it's
comes
part,
around here.
part of his legacy contract.
Yeah. So I'm hoping we'll get a show sometime
I'll-
somewhere around here.
Or when he's done, they need to put one of them on Peacock or something.
Yeah, like they did with Mick Foley.
Yeah. Pretty sure
Yeah.
they will, but if we can
Oh,
see
yeah,
that
eventually.
shit live, that would be
Yeah.
great too.
Yeah, and also the first name of the headliner for this year's Hall of Fame class has been revealed to be Batista. He was supposed to go in 2020, but because of the pandemic, that those 20 and 21 were combined, and he wasn't able to make it. So he said that he mentioned on Twitter back then that he would get it at a later date, and it's been confirmed that he'll be going in the Hall of Fame.
I mean, good on him. I think he was decent at what he did. Triple H definitely helped him out by having him in Evolution.
Yeah.
There has to be someone bigger though. Like he can't be the headliner
Yeah,
because that is one of the rumors I have heard is that he's gonna be the headliner. But I think we need someone else.
yeah. I mean, we'll get other people eventually.
Yeah. I know we'll get many people in there, but he can't be like the highlight of the night. There has to be someone else. But yeah, there's still time. So we'll wait and see in these next couple of weeks because WrestleMania's creeping up, man.
Yeah,
So
and there's a few more names finally to conclude that WWE is looking to either debut or bring back. I know we've mentioned Jay White and Kota Ibushi, which Jay White is probably going to be in the works. Also, they're looking to bring back. Well, from what I hear, it's already done deal. Eric Young is coming back. Matt Cardona may come back soon. The AOP, Authors of Pain, may come back with Paul Ellering. In fact, Paul Ellering is trying to negotiate their deal with WWE.
okay, so since you brought him up, I'm gonna ask you a question, and there's a very obvious answer to it. If Eric Young is coming back, what would he do?
I think we're going to be heading towards the Sanity reunion because on Monday on Raw, Nikki mentioned to Candice that all her friends are gone. She was talking about Sanity. So I think you bring back Eric Young and Killian Dane and even Alexander Wolf.
Yeah, that would be what I would think would happen. But some people, and this could be something, this could be nothing. the Firefly Funhouse that happened on SmackDown. They are saying that the voiceover sounded like Eric Young. Again, could be that they just used him to do the voiceover. Could be no connection at all. Could be like, hey, he's available. Let's use him for it. Nobody's going to notice. But people noticed that it sounded like him. So I'm not saying it is him or that it isn't, but that's just what people are speculating now. So, and as soon as they heard that, people immediately go to, okay, is Eric Young involved in the Wyatt Six? And if he is, and you do want to do the Nikki thing with sanity and all that shit, could it be possible that Nikki is one of the Wyatt Six instead of Alexa Bliss?
Are you saying turn the sanity into the Wyatt Six?
Yeah. It could be a part of it. And then when they break off and do like their own tag stuff, it can be sanity. But as the group, they are like Wyatt Six, you know?
Yeah.
It could be one of those things. But then again, it could be nothing, like I said. That's just what I heard like an hour ago. So it was fresh in my mind.
All right. That's the news for this week.
Alright. Well, now that we got the news in there, we're going to go ahead and dive into it because there could be a lot to talk about depending on what y'all choose. So, to get his moment for WWE this week, I'm going to go over to Johnny and see what it is.
So, on Raw, Sami Zayn opened the show. They're still in Canada. Of course, he got an ovation. Not as long as at Elimination Chamber, but a pretty good one. He came out. He called out Kevin Owens. I guess wanting to thank him for helping him out, even though it happened after the match, but he still helped him out at Elimination Chamber. So Kevin Owens came out, and Sami started saying, well, if we're going to take down the bloodline, we need to, we can't do it just one of us. It has to be both of us. Kevin Owens said that he didn't do it to help Sami. He did it for himself because he was in a similar situation at the Rumble. And pretty much KO just said, if you want to take down the bloodline, why don't you talk to your friend Jay?
Yeah. It's interesting because the obvious story, at least, or what we would think is the obvious story they're leading to, is the Usos versus Sami and Kevin Owens. But I don't know, man. This could still branch off in many different ways.
Yeah.
Some are even saying it could be Sami and Jay versus Jimmy and Solo for Mania. Like doing the Usos split. I don't know. I don't know where my mind is on that yet. I know what I would want to see. But like we've said many times on here, there's what I want and then there's what's going to happen. Where would you see this going, Drew, if you had to make a choice?
I really don't know.
It's still too early to tell. We still have 5 weeks till
Right.
WrestleMania.
It's way too early.
Yeah. I don't know. There's just a lot out there to make us think of different scenarios that would make sense. But yeah, that Bloodline Sami Zayn storyline is still what's dominating WWE right now, even with the way Elimination Chamber ended. Can't be too mad at it. I don't think Cody is going to get the backlash they think. So everything's going to work out. We just need to focus on these 5 weeks and see what the story ends up being. But there's a lot of shit there.
Because the fans are they're starting to chant Sammy's name during Cody's promos, and that's why they on Raw they had to bring out Paul Heyman so quickly, because the fans were starting to chant for Sammy, and Cody and Paul had to talk through their promo just to keep the crowd from not chanting.
Told you. They're going to turn on Cody. they kind of like Kofi 3 years ago. They don't want Cody right now. Everybody wants Sammy.
So if they do the Sammy thing at WrestleMania, if somehow this is what it leads to, and they do the supposed triple threat match we have talked about before, and that a lot of people are talking about, not just us, people would still like it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
It depends on who won. It would have to be Sammy or
Cody.
it would have to be
Oh,
Sammy. The
yeah,
people's just gonna riot until they get what they want. They want Sammy as their champion right now.
and you don't want Roman to keep it.
Right.
No.
He's
No.
had it long enough.
No. You definitely don't want Roman keeping it, especially when you have two of the most credible over talent in WWE right now. But yeah, I would, if that's what's going to end up being the match at Mania, put it on Sammy over Cody. And then somewhere down the line, you can do the match where you split the titles.
And I think that Cody's he's the one that that's getting the bad end, telling the bad end of the stick, I guess, because while he was out with the injury, Triple H created a monster
Yeah.
in this storyline.
Yeah. That's why I was saying, since this match was set up for Elimination Chamber, you got to strike while the iron is hot, because it looks like the things with Sammy aren't going to cool down anytime soon. So until it happens and until you get the title on him, they're just going to hate whatever you do. I think in the end they're just going to hate it. So unfortunately for Cody, it doesn't look good if that's what they're going to do. Yeah, it's their own fault that this is happening. So they need to notice what they have and capitalize on it.
But like we've said several times before, this is a lot better than what Vince would have done.
Yeah. Can't argue with that. So, hell yeah, man.
This has actually happened before. When the crowd has decided what happens at Mania.
Yeah, with Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, when Batista won the Rumble.
Yeah.
The fans didn't want that. They wanted Daniel Bryan.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. They just, look, man. We all remember that time when Vince, Stephanie, Shane, they all came out to the ring and they're like, we are gonna be the ones to give the people what they want. And so far, it didn't work out. Make it work out now. Do this one thing right to start out with. So, me personally, I'd put it on Sammy at Mania if they were to spin it that way. But we'll see. There's like Johnny said, there's still 5 weeks. So we'll see what they decide to come up with. So now that we got Johnny's moment in there, I'm gonna go over to Drew and get his moment for WWE.
Well, let's just continue the storyline Johnny talked about on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jimmy shows up, no Jay. Paul tells Jimmy he needs to go out there and talk to Jay. Him and Solo will stay in the back. Then he gets a tweet from Roman. Roman tells him, either you fix this week or I'll fix it next week when I'm there. So Jay goes out, or Jimmy goes out. He calls out Jay. Well, Jay doesn't show up. Sammy does. They have a conversation. Sammy tells him, you know, remember, you made me the honorary Oos. You were there the first day I showed up. You were the one that fought for me before Jay, before Paul, before Roman. You were the one that made me the honorary Oos. And then he talks about how when Roman turned on me, you took me down with zero hesitation. Jimmy, I have to let you know, that hurt me. And then Jay talked about you made the choice, and then it goes on to talk about how Roman's just manipulating everybody, and you don't do that to family, like Roman's been doing everybody. It was a pretty intense back and forth. And then Jimmy just attacks him while they're both looking at Jay up in the stands. So Jay shows up, he's up there. Jay makes it down to ringside, and that's when they go at it. Sammy gives Jimmy the Luva kick. Then Solo comes out, runs Jay off. So Jay's running up the aisle this way. Jimmy's standing there looking at him and looking at Jimmy in the ring. It's just, it left on a weird note.
And then Sammy and Jay shared a look.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think the reason, and I think it's pretty obvious, the reason it ended so awkwardly in a way is because of the text that supposedly Roman sent Heyman earlier, where it said, if Jay doesn't handle this shit tonight, I'm going to come in next week and I'm going to have to handle it myself.
Yeah.
So,
and we still haven't heard anything from Jay. He just showed up. No speaking, nothing.
Yeah. So I think we're going to get a very pissed off Roman Reigns next week.
Oh, of course we are.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's always on edge because of everything happening, but yeah, even more now. I think we're going to get a very ragey Roman Reigns next week.
This story has so many different layers to it.
Yeah, and Sammy could actually convince both Usos to leave. We don't know.
Yeah.
Instead of just Jay, he could convince Jimmy and Jay to leave. Just because Jay kind of looked, Jimmy kind of looked conflicted a little bit when he talked about how he had his back from the very beginning. So he kind of looked conflicted like Jay did at the Rumble.
Yeah. And then there's also the story they could play off still where Sammy helped Jimmy retain the titles.
Yeah.
That one time, a couple of weeks back. So
yeah, when Jay got hurt.
Yeah. So Sammy can be like, look, man, I recently had your back as well. So, yeah, there's like like Johnny said, there's layers to this story. So, fuck yeah, man. Next Friday, we're definitely gonna have eyes on that.
And yeah, and like the two, since Cody's on Raw, you get the Cody side of it on Mondays, and then you get the Sami side of it on Friday.
Yeah, yeah. I like that even more, that we get some of it on Monday and then some of it on Friday, because that just reminds me of the continuity we used to have back in the day, where what happened on Raw would have a payoff and some sort of consequences on SmackDown.
Yeah, because this week with Cody and Paul's promo, it was from Paul. It was pre-tape, but he had the neck brace, and he was selling the stunner from that Kevin Owens gave him at the Chamber.
Yeah. Heyman's being put through it, man. I think out of everybody in the bloodline, he's probably going to be the one that comes out the most scarred from this. Because he's not a fighter, man.
Yeah.
So he just gets caught in the crossfire, and yeah, fortunately he has to deal with getting stunners and shit.
He is a survivor.
Yeah.
He's been involved somehow in wrestling since he was 14 years old, and he used to just go to the garden in New York and just take pictures. One of his, if you ever saw the WWE Story Time, he tells a story of Freddie Blassie gave him a ride home one time, and it was it was a scary ride because Blassie wasn't a good driver.
Yeah. We'll see how Heyman ends up in this whole story. But yeah, he's been put through it throughout the years. Managing Brock, managing KO, managing Cesaro. Yeah, like there's been a lot of shit he's done. So it's a good person to have working with the bloodline, but at the same time, like poor Heyman being beat up. All right. So as far as my moment for WWE, I was a bit torn as to what to go with. So I'm gonna have to bring both moments up, but I'm not gonna focus. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on either or. I'm just gonna split the time here real quick. The first one's gonna sound a little bit weird because I am very anti Charlotte Flair. But I did find it funny when Dominic was cutting the promo with her, and I don't know, he was kind of like putting the moves on her awkwardly. And that's when Charlotte said, "I have a real Latino man at home who calls me mommy," with a much thicker accent. But we knew what she meant.
Yeah.
And I find it funny that after the fact, Andrade posted a picture of him watching TV at home, and the caption was pretty much "Papi at home," is what it was. And also, Buddy Murphy tweeted out, and he said, "If Dom Dom keeps this shit up, I might have to teach him a lesson." Not that he's going to come over to WWE to do that shit anytime soon. But they're just playing off of their real life situations and relationships. So.
And then what else did he said? Rhea has a puppy at home too.
Yeah, that shit too, man. It's all tied in. Everybody has a papi and a mommy. So hell yeah, I found that shit funny as hell. And the other bit I wanted to touch on, just because Johnny agreed with me earlier today, and I want to get Andrew's thoughts on it. The Firefly Funhouse. It was a bit much. It was
Confusing.
all over the place. I'm glad you said that word.
It was
Because
confusing.
that is the
It was
word
all
that
about keeping a
everybody's
secret,
bringing
but
up.
What's the secret?
Yeah.
It's the secret is that Eric Young is Uncle Howdy.
I mean,
Eric
it
Young
very
ain't big
well
enough to
could
be Uncle
be.
Howdy. Eric Young ain't big enough to be Uncle Howdy.
Yeah, to me, like I told Johnny earlier today, coming from someone who backs Bray Wyatt and a lot of the stuff that he's done, I also have to keep it honest. And I did say I'm gonna let this play out and see where it goes, because Bray Wyatt storylines take time to build. But this one was just confusing. I had no idea what happened. I've watched it one more time. Like I told you, I was going to watch it again before we went live just to see if I could make sense of anything.
Yeah.
And I'm just as confused.
Yeah, 'cause it's like he started off in the production truck watching his own promo from last week, and then it turned into like his own little channel. He had a news segment with Uncle Howdy doing the weather, and he
Which
had
was funny. That was funny though.
there was a game show called Can You Keep a Secret, and it's like here's the lineup. Later it's Can You Keep a Secret, and then after that it's Can You Keep a Secret, and then tonight we have Can You?
It's like, what the hell?
I mean, it's easy to get it. It's easy to keep a secret when we don't know what the fuck you're saying.
and then it spliced Lashley from Raw talking about it doesn't matter if it's Brock Lesnar or Bray Wyatt,
Yeah. Look, man, we all know the end game. It's at least what we think we know is that the end game is this is the WrestleMania match being set up between Bray and Lashley.
And it's not the match we wanted.
No.
I mean, no offense to Lashley. The MVP came out this week on Raw, and he said on behalf of Omos that he challenges Brock Lesnar to a match at WrestleMania. No. I'm not into that.
That'll be a quick match, won't it?
It should be.
I would hope so.
Yes. I think Brock Lesnar can power him up from 1F5, kind of like Hogan flaming Andre, and just get it over with.
Watch it be the longest match of the night.
Take him to Suplex City 3 times, he'll be fine. He'll be done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would have been better Bray versus Brock.
Yeah. I mean, that still would have been a pretty quick match, but at least they would be able to do more than Omos,
Yeah. And but I think also with Bray and Lashley, you could bring out the Y6, and then Lashley could reunite with the Hurt Business. I did see something today that they're wanting to make Carmelo Hayes part of the Hurt Business.
Are you going to bring in Trick Williams as well?
Could be.
I would say if you're going to get the Hurt Business back together, it needs to be like OG Hurt Business. But sure, if they want to bring in other people, fine.
Well, yeah, but if you do it this way, you ain't got to put MVP in the ring as much. Because, he is getting old.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. I guess for the sake of not having MVP in the ring at this age, I guess that could work. But yeah, I don't know, man. I want to, and I've backed the whole Bray Wyatt Uncle Howdy thing. But this week I was just confused. And a lot of people that I watch reactions on a weekly basis said the same thing. they were also very confused with this. So at least I'm glad to know that I wasn't the only one. So hopefully these next 5 weeks before Mania, we get a clearer picture, because this was not it, unfortunately. So now that we've got our moments in there for WWE, I'm gonna go back to Johnny and get his moment for AEW.
My name's Michael Delbianco. I'm pretty mad.
Okay. Another promo. This was this week's MJF and Bryan Danielson promo. Danielson came out first, and he was saying that MJF is a coward, which brought out MJF. And MJF told a story of, and it turned out this was a true life story. That there was a woman that he had told that he wanted to spend his life with her. He wanted to start a family. He wanted to have kids, and she left him. That was his fiance. They were engaged, but they separated. And MJF started saying, well, after that happened, I just felt like taking a fistful of pills and ending it all. He said, but what keeps me going is the AEW title, or the Triple B, as he calls it. Telling Danielson that he's got it made. He's got a wife and 2 kids. But he's also had the most concussions of any wrestler. That every time he steps in the ring, he puts wrestling first before his family. And then MJF said that you're no better than your I forget how you put it. Your drug addicted friend William Regal. The first time brought up Regal's name since he left the company. And then the MJF, he looked into the camera and he had a message for Brian's kids, and he called them out by their names. He said for Birdie and for Buddy. And he said that he's gonna send Dada home with an early onset case of CTE, and he couldn't even get the entire CTE out, because that's when Danielson, they started brawling in the ring, and then they had to separate. That was basically the promo.
Yeah, I really like the realism in stories.
Yeah.
And this is something that we've brought up in the last couple of months, because there's been a lot of realism mixed in with storylines. And I don't know if we're being worked, or if all of this is real with MJF and his fiance / ex-fiance, whatever's actually going on there. It's just so good, but so odd at the same time. Because I still see her on Twitter, and she's still selling off like her MJF art, her paintings that she does. And it just feels a little weird seeing all that, man. Knowing the promo that MJF threw out there, and not knowing whether he's ever gonna be a married man like Danielson and have kids. I said this once before, a couple of weeks back. How dare you try and humanize MJF and make us relate and make us feel for what he's going through. And here they are doing it again.
Yeah, I mean, like the crowd started chanting when he told that story. You deserve it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but look, then the crowd realized what was happening and
And then
they
they started the what
immediately shut that shit down.
They started the what chance.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's a hell of a story to be telling.
I was
And
just thinking, lucky lady, she got out of it when she could. So.
Yeah, because from what I've seen, MJF is always on, whether he's in the ring or out of the ring.
He's always MJF.
Yes.
It's not ever just Max.
Yeah.
And that, I don't know, man. If that's the like real thing where he could never disassociate like the character from him being an actual person. I mean, props for being able to do that, but you have to be human as well. So like, live your life, man. Don't let what your job is, as much as you love to be a professional wrestler, don't let that shit consume everything. And it's like I said, I don't know if this is real or not, if they truly are broken up or what the fuck, but they're telling a hell of a story. So it's not quite Bloodline level storyline yet, but it's very damn good. So I have to agree.
It has a long way before it's bloodline levels.
Yeah, but it has a good foundation to get there.
Yeah.
If they decide to take it that far, it's gonna take a lot of work, but they have a good foundation.
Well, the match is already going to be next weekend, so.
Yeah, but we don't know if that would be the end of it.
Right.
Like, who knows how that's going to play out. So
Yeah.
We'll see. So now that we got Johnny's moment in there, I'm going to go over to Drew and get his moment for AEW this week.
I think I'm going to start with the kickoff match for Dynamite. Orange Cassidy versus Wheeler Yuta. Which in itself was a great match. These two are two of the young upcoming names in the company. But my favorite part of the match was Claudio coming out and slapping the hell out of Yuta when he looked like he was being soft.
Yeah.
Then Yuta doing more heel tactics. And then after he lost, he refused to, I guess, shake his hand or give the hug to Orange Cassidy when Claudio called him to the back. People are saying this is a heel turn for Blackpool Combat Club. They've always been heels. Haven't they? It's just the heels we like.
They're right. It's kind of like Stone Cold.
Yeah. Like, he did, like, Stone Cold would do everything for trying to piss us off.
Yeah, they do stuff
But
that
we love
heels do, but we love them as their characters.
Yes.
When Stone Cold would come out and be like, I'm going to stump a mud hole in all your favorite superstars and whoever you're a fan of. And they were like, yeah, but we think you're badass, so we're going to enjoy it.
Right.
Yeah.
So
like,
how can this be a heel turn when they've already always been heels?
yeah.
But Orange Cassidy got the win, kept his title.
I
he's
don't.
fighting Big Bill for it next week.
Yeah. I don't think there is anything that I could think of that the Blackpool Combat Club could do to make us hate them? If you had to choose, like,
Yeah, there is.
Blackpool
There's some
Combat
stuff they
Club
could
to
do.
focus on one person that you think would make us think, oh, okay, they've gone full heel, who would
Well,
that be?
I was gonna say if they would have turned on Regal.
No, I don't think that would even do it. But I do have a name that probably could. If they all attacked Jungle Boy.
I don't think I would be mad at that.
I don't think so either.
Because, don't get me wrong, Jungle Boy is great.
Now, if they're doing it like one-on-one, like you does one-on-one against Jungle Boy and he beats him up, that's fine. But if all four of them attacked him at once by himself, yeah, that would be different. You know what I'm saying? But they don't do that. They don't use the numbers game.
Not yet.
I don't think I've ever seen them use the numbers game.
Anything
They'll
is
do it
possible.
one-on-one, just beat the hell out of somebody by yourself. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if they wanted to go full heel, they could do that. That would be the way of doing it. It's like targeting someone and using the numbers game against them. I just don't think Jungle Boy is the guy.
who is then? Who's
Johnny,
the most beloved?
you got anybody in mind
Is
that
there, like, who's more loved than Jungle Boy in this company right now?
Warlow.
I still don't think that would do it.
Yeah, I don't think that would work
'Cause he's
either.
too big.
Yeah.
I think Jungle Boy, because he's a little guy,
Yeah.
and he's probably the most loved.
I have one. But there would be he would have to be more active in the ring for it to work, but even if they
What about-
do it right now,
What about Hook?
but Hook is a badass.
Who could probably take half of them out?
Yeah. So I don't think that would work either because Hook is just gonna fucking retaliate. Okay, I have one name. But like I said, he would need to be more active in the ring. Or at least after the attack, be more active in the ring. Because of revenge. Danhausen. Everybody loves Danhausen.
Yeah.
And how dare you hurt him? I
think
think
it's
that
enough
is the
beating as it
one
is.
name.
I was also going to say Fuego del Sol.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't give two shits about
I
Fuego.
would care less.
I mean, yeah, we haven't seen him on TV in a long time.
Yeah. I think if Blackpool Combat Club like goes 4-on-1 against Danhausen and just leaves them a bloody mess, that's when people would be like, "Ah, you crossed the line now."
Yeah, and then you start a best friends BCC feud.
Yeah. That would be one way to fucking go.
And then you bring out evil Danhausen.
Yeah. See? It writes itself. It could be a great story to tell if they ever truly wanted to make us think of BCC as heels. That's the way I would do it. See, and the Wrestling Observer Newsletter Awards came out and they named Tony Khan Booker of the Year. I just thought of that shit on the fly. Call
should be
me
Bookers of the Year,
fucking
damn it.
Booker of the Year, bitch.
And I have to disagree with Tony Khan being Booker of the Year.
For the third year in a row.
I have to disagree.
And for the fourth year in a row, he's Promoter of the Year.
I have to disagree. Anybody that makes Jade Cargill 53-0 and still champion, no, they cannot be Booker of the Year. Screw that. I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay, so if he's not Booker of the Year, then who is? Because I don't think it's fair to call Triple H Booker of the Year as well.
I mean,
The
that's
Booker of
pretty
New-
much.
The Booker of New Japan. Give it to him.
Gato.
Fair enough.
Gato.
I don't know who runs it, but whoever runs New
It's
Japan,
it's
give it to him.
it's Gato.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Gato should have been Booker of the
Now
Year.
Tony might be. What was the other one? Promoter of the Year. Yes, he does promote his still well, but he
Yeah.
can't be Booker. Not with Jake Cargill being 53-0. He's still champion.
And
I'm sorry.
and I don't think you would do Triple H as well, because even people who actively liked Bianca Belair are now saying, okay, this title run has gone too long.
Bianca is the Jade Cargill of WWE.
Yeah.
No.
Ooh,
She
got disagreed.
at least has a moveset.
As far as
Nia Jax is the Jade Cargill or Eagles.
as far
Not
as,
Bianca.
I mean, I was talking as far as title run.
No, because Bianca at least loses sometimes. Even when it's not a title match, she loses sometimes. She gets pinned. Jade's never been pinned. Ever. In her whole freaking career at AEW. Don't make sense.
In a singles match, I think she did in a tag match once.
No. The only loss they have her recorded as in the thing we looked up was the Battle Royal.
Okay, that's what it
Yeah.
was.
The one
Because I
that we-
remember we had the discussion of whether it was a tag match or battle royal, and we figured it out. It was battle royal.
It was the Battle Royal that Ruby
Yeah.
won. Her only loss.
All right, now I remember. Now that you brought that up, that we
But
did
they don't
have
count
that
that as a
discussion.
loss because she wasn't pinned or she wasn't disqualified. None.
Yeah. Wow. Well, like we do, sometimes we take off and talk about other things, but
Yeah, I mean, we were gonna bring those awards up anyway.
yeah, we were.
As you can tell, I'm not a fan.
Yeah. As far as my moment for the week, the reason I'm going with this is because it could be either really, really good or really, really bad. So I want to, even though we did talk about it a little bit throughout the week after we heard of it, I want to get your thoughts on it now that it's been a couple of days since the big announcement. So, starting in March, following Dynamite, we are going to get a third hour, technically, of AEW TV. But it's going to be called AEW All Access. And just from the name itself, I am hoping that what we are going to get is more of a backstage look at how AEW is ran, and the lead up to pay-per-views. That has been said that's something they're going to focus on. The comeback from injuries is something I would tell as well. Even though it's not directly wrestling, focus on the wrestling backstage side of it. Because the names we have heard that are going to be most involved with this are Adam Cole, Britt Baker, the Young Bucks, and Eddie Kingston. I don't think I'm missing anyone. I think those are the only ones they discussed so far. Obviously, we're going to get more cameos here and there because they have a lot of talent. But those are the main ones they're going to focus on. A lot of people seem to think that this could go down the route of Total Divas, Total Bellas, where they focus on relationships and drama and all this other bullshit that I don't think this show needs.
If they do that, I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it focuses just on the backstage and how stuff is ran in AEW, I'm in. That's the stuff I want to watch.
I think they mentioned Brett and Adam Cole because of his what he's going through to come back,
Yeah.
as far as his mental and physical.
Yeah. And that's fine.
I think that's why they mentioned them too.
I'm fine with that because it was a serious thing that he went through. So to show his road back to getting in the ring, which the night that this show debuts, he did say that that's when he's going to have
His first
his
in-ring.
his in-ring return. So I'm hoping that's what this is going to focus on, but I just want to get more of your guys' thoughts on it. I know you already said that if it's anything but like backstage and everything that goes on there, you're out. But what would you all like to see from it?
I mean, pretty much what you said. Just a backstage look behind the scenes.
If it could be like backstage, how the show works, what they do to prepare for a show, injury rehab, and maybe every once in a while a mini kind of biography on a certain wrestler. Like each week they have a biography, a small 15-minute segment on a wrestler's background and coming up. That'd be cool too.
Yeah, because
Like-
the other thing they
Like
could
one
also
week you can have like what Sammy Guevara went through to get to where he is now.
yeah.
Every week you do a different wrestler, and like some weeks it could be a team, like the Young Bucks, because you know their story is pretty much the same as
Yeah.
Nick and Matt's story is the same. You're not going to separate those two and give them two different backstories, but
Yeah.
do those two together.
And like the other thing I think they could focus on right now, which I think you would really enjoy as much as I would, just because we miss her so much, is Chris Statlander's recovery.
Yeah,
Like they could have a camera, they could have had a camera crew following her around and just showing how that's going. You know, obviously you can't document everything,
right.
but the big steps into her return, that would
Yeah.
be something you would want to have on record.
And now that's
kind of like WWE did recently before the Rumble with Cody's injury.
Yeah.
and now that's the name I'm hearing that might beat Jay Cargill is Chris Statlander.
Please.
Please.
Can you
Hurry up, Chris, we
imagine
need
how
you.
can you imagine how crazy Andrew and I would go if Chris Statlander beats Jade Cargill?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't know. I don't think this was the big announcement that people were thinking about whenever Tony said there was a big announcement this week. But
I had two
this
thoughts.
okay, what were your two thoughts?
One, he was going to announce what they're going to do with the ROH tag teams titles.
Okay.
That was my first thought. My second was, oh God, CM Punk's suspension is up. That was my two thoughts when I heard
Yeah.
the announcement.
I mean, it could have been other things. Yeah, CM Punk was coming back. Maybe he was going to announce about the video game. Maybe he secretly made that deal to buy WWE.
I want that deal to happen. Real quick. But
Don't
yeah.
we all?
To just focus on this show, as it could either pay off really well or it's going to be a complete bust. But a lot of people seem to think that if they do go the Total Divas, Total Bellas route, that it's going to bring in a completely different audience that necessarily isn't focused or has eyes on AEW right now, ladies, they're talking to you. To all of those that watch like the Kardashians.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the more eyes you get on AEW, the better. It's just going to help them grow.
Not necessarily.
If this, because when people said that this could be a way to bring that fan base in, I don't know if it would necessarily pay off in the way they think it would. Imagine if we go to, whenever they come back to Garland, if we go and instead of the hardcore loud crowd that we had last time, we just got a whole bunch of females in there, like with signs saying I love you, Jungle Boy and Hook and shit like that, and just, I don't know, man. I don't want the environment to change. That's why I'm scared if that's what that show is going to be. I don't know. We're gonna have to see what these first couple of episodes are like, but I'm hoping it's more on the backstage side of things, because last thing we need is another Total Divas, Total Bellas type of show. Just go to Peacock and watch the reruns of that shit. Pretty sure you've already forgotten what it's about and what everything happens on there anyway.
Like I said before, I watched the first episode of Total Bellas, and that was it. John Cena was being too much of a douche.
Hey, you watched more than I did.
With all his strict ass house rules.
Yeah, I think that is the only episode I watched, because someone I know tried to get me into it, and I'm just like, but I don't want to. But she was like, do it for me, and I'm a guy, so we all know what my intentions were. So I'm like, sure, but I have to come over to your place and watch it, and, Netflix and chill. So, yeah, like, I watched the episode. All I'm gonna say is, win-win. You got me to watch it. Have to go into details on the other one, but yeah, I just, that's the last thing I want it to be. So we'll see. I have hopes for it, but I'm not holding my breath on it either. So yeah, out of all the moments I could have chosen that week, that's what I went with, just because I think there's potential there. But I'm still afraid. So, alright. So now that we've gone through our moments of the week, I'm not going to focus too much on it. I'm just going to throw out a couple of the Wrestling Observer Newsletter Awards, and I'm going to see if y'all agree or not, because it focuses on both wrestling and MMA, but I know MMA is not your thing as much as wrestling is, so I'm just going to focus on the wrestling side of things. For Wrestler of the Year, taking the top spot, Jon Moxley.
Yeah, I did see that, and really it was only a two-person race between Moxley and Roman Reigns, but Moxley got it at the end. I did take a look at the top 10, and even though he's been out since Brawl Out, CM Punk was number 8 on that list.
Why?
And Bryan Danielson was number 10 on that list.
How? How the hell is he not number 3? or 2.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna say before we move on. A lot of people are having issues with the results
Yeah.
of these awards. So if you feel slighted in any way, like you just did with CM Punk at 8, but yet Danielson at 10, you have justified anger because you are not the only one that has issues with the way some of these turned out. So, yeah, John Moxley definitely deserves it just because of how he put AEW on his back when they needed it the most. So,
Yes.
I agree with
And he-
that one.
And he defended that championship, 30 times in a month?
Yeah,
It seemed like it.
yeah.
It
Put
seemed like
respect
he was
on his
defending
name.
it every week.
Yeah,
Something
Put
Roman
respect.
didn't do.
yeah. Put respect on that man's name. We definitely do. All right. For most outstanding wrestler, Will Ospreay took the top spot, but in a close second, Bryan Danielson.
That's either way, 1, 2, 2, 1.
Yeah,
That could go either way for
it's
me.
the top of the top. So we're glad Danielson is there as well, and we all know how talented Will Ospreay is. So. For tag team of the year, I agree with the top 3.
Yeah.
Number 1, FTR.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2, of course, the Briscoes. Like, that could have been either way
Yes. Yeah.
because they're just as great, both of them.
Let me guess who number 3 is, because I didn't look at that.
Okay.
The Usos.
No.
No?
Gun Club.
Fuck you. Not the ass
The ass
boys.
boys.
I had to throw it out there. Come on, that's funny.
Not the ass boys. Okay. Number 3 is the Young Bucks.
Okay.
Which, fair enough.
Yeah.
Like, they deserve it. They deserve to be in top 3 for sure. Best on interviews, number 1, MJF. Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. Because I'm assuming that they also put promo and as part of that category, interview / promo. So.
Yeah. It's all the same in my eyes. Whether you're doing an interview or a promo, they're not that different. So some interviews are promos.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at them right now too.
Yeah.
I put Seth up there too.
Yeah, Seth should have been up there. I'm only getting the top 3 here. So it's MJF, second is John Moxley, third is CM Punk.
I'm on Wikipedia, so I'm only getting number 1.
And for promotion of the year,
Of course.
number 1,
AEW.
AEW. Look, before you say anything, this is what I'm going to say. Biggest storyline this year, last year, whatever you want to call it, year before that, biggest storyline is the Bloodline. But all around, better promotion is AEW.
I don't know that I agree.
Really?
Really. Ever since Triple H taken over, I don't know if I agree with that. But I guess it's for the whole year, so you have to include the first half of the year. So
Yeah, and WWE wasn't consistently good.
right. The biggest problem I have with AEW is on TV, we get one women's match per show,
Yeah,
and I hate that. Come on, you got to feature your women more, dude.
yeah.
I know they do on Dark and Dark Evolution, but your average fan's not going to watch all that. They're just going to watch what's on TV.
Yeah.
That's my biggest knockdown of AEW. They focus
And you
too much
gotta
on the
admit,
men
they
and not
are-
enough on the women.
And you have to admit, though, that they are taking steps towards fixing that. lately.
No, they're still doing one match per show.
But they've
They've been
had
doing
more
one
like,
match.
but they've had more backstage promos, stuff like that,
Right.
going
But
to
they've
build
always done
towards
that.
things.
But they need more than one match per show. I'm telling you. If you don't have matches, backstage promos aren't that big. You know what I'm saying?
I get you.
You
It's
need more
gonna
than one
take
match
some
per
work
show.
still, but I could see what they are trying to do to work towards it. Is all I'm saying. Agree to disagree, I guess.
So I'm
Yeah.
looking at the list, and not only did John Moxley win Best Wrestler of the Year, he also won Best Brawler of the Year, which is the
Yeah.
Bruiser
He bleeds
Brody.
every match he has.
It's the Brody Memorial Award.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm good with that. He
He
bleeds
bleeds in every
match.
match.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
He made himself bleed this week just for the sake of bleeding.
Look, man, if I was in that spotlight and I was getting the amount of money that Moxley is, I would bleed every single week.
Yes, yeah.
I would. So
Even if the camera does catch you bleeding sometimes.
yeah, fuck it, I'll do it. All right. Best weekly TV show. Number 1, Dynamite. Number 2, SmackDown. Number 3, Rampage.
I don't know about putting Rampage that high.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the like. I agree with
I would put
Dynamite.
Raw. I would put Raw before Rampage.
I agree with Dynamite and SmackDown because Dynamite's consistently good. SmackDown has the majority of the Bloodline storyline. So that's why that's at number 2. But I would have put Raw at 3.
Yeah.
Or at least put Raw before Rampage. Just because they also have Bloodline stuff.
In
So,
fact,
yeah.
I would put, even I don't watch it, I would put Impact over Rampage.
Yeah.
Sure. that's what I'll leave that at. For match of the year, taking the number 1 spot, Okada versus Will Ospreay
Yes.
in Tokyo.
Yes, that's the finals of the G1 from 2022.
Yeah.
That was an awesome match.
And number 2, FTR versus Briscoes in Arlington.
I probably would have reversed those. I probably would have put the double dog collar match number 1, and then the G1 match number 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I agree with you. I would have switched that as well. And taking the 3rd spot, Okada versus Ospreay. Also in Tokyo. So the first one is from 8/18. This one's from the beginning of the year. 1/5.
That's Wrestle Kingdoms.
Yeah.
So they're counting January too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is all from
Well,
last
that's
year.
the- Well, no, but January's this year, not last year.
Well, no, they're counting January 2022.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was and in fact, you say on the 5th, so that was from the New Year's Dash. That was in Wrestle Kingdom.
I thought it was the January from 2023.
No.
No, in fact, I think we've already seen match of the year so far in Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega.
Hell yeah.
I don't think we've seen it yet.
Well, so far.
So far. Yeah.
We still have 10 more months.
Yeah.
All right. For United States, Canada MVP, number 1, Moxley. Again, yes. Number 2, I don't know how y'all feel on it. Roman Reigns.
I would have put Sami Zayn.
I would have put
Yeah.
Sammy ahead of Roman.
And number 3, I get it. But again, a little bit of a question mark on there. Chris Jericho.
I don't know. I think Chris Jericho's had his day.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, as good as JAS was at the beginning, I think their better days are behind them. They're stuck
Well-
on the same loop right now.
I think in general, Chris Jericho's days are long behind him.
Yes.
Yeah.
His better days.
When they're doing jokes with the Impractical Jokers, that's part of their storyline. The same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't agree with the
And the
number
whole
2 and 3 spot.
JAS is feuding with Ricky Starks and on Action Andrade. I know they're trying to make these two kids stars, and it's working, but they're just not top tier.
Yeah.
And then all of JAS's feuds last forever. The feud they had with the Blackpool Combat Club, that and Kingston, that took forever.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't agree with it. So that's gonna, again, that's why people are having issues with this list.
Yeah, I
So-
would have went Mox and then Sammy.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how I would have done it. MVP for Japan, taking the top spot, Okada.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Taking the second spot, Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those two work for me. MVP from Mexico, taking the top spot, Hijo del Vikingo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 2, Mystical.
Oh.
Andrew's like, I don't even know.
Misigo is actually former Sin Cara.
Yeah.
The
And
original Sin Cara.
original Sin Cara.
Yeah.
Not Botch Cara.
Yeah.
And taking the third spot, Ray Phoenix. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree there.
He should have been number 1.
Just because you know him.
Yeah.
Just because
Yeah.
that way you could have been, I know that guy.
Yeah.
All right,
I still think he's
MVP.
at least under. I still think he's the best liar in the world.
You can make that argument, yeah. And I could see why.
You know what? I heard him say he was the best liar in the world.
No, flyer.
Oh. Like, what is he talking about?
All right, MVP for Europe, taking the top spot, Will Ospreay.
Mm.
Yeah. Taking the second spot, Michael Loku. Which, sure. And
Yep.
number 3 is Ricky Knight Jr.
Hmm.
So, hell yeah. That's topping off that list. The Hodge Award, which is non-heavyweight MVP. Taking the top spot on that, Hijo del Vikingo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Taking the second spot, Darby Allin. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's everywhere. And number 3, Desperado.
Yeah.
And here's where I have another issue.
Mhm.
So,
So I probably will too.
women's wrestling MVP, I think all 3 of us will.
Don't say it.
Okay, number 1 is Syuri. So
Okay. Okay.
I can believe that.
Who?
From Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 2 is where my issue is.
Is it? I haven't looked at it. Is it Jay Cargill?
No, but it's the other carbon copy, Bianca Belair.
Yeah. Okay. Oh. Yeah.
And number 3, Jamie Hayter.
Okay. I would put Jamie Hayter over Bianca.
Yeah.
In fact,
Bianca's,
I don't think Bianca should belong in that top.
no, I don't think. But it is what it is. Like I said, people have issues with this list, but then agree
Yeah.
with some of it. So, the best box office draw in pro wrestling,
Hmm.
I have issues with. Fine, fuck it. I'm just gonna read them off. Number 1, Roman Reigns. Again, Sami Zayn. Only because of Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
I would have said Bloodline
Yeah.
because Roman with Sammy and the Usos, it's all. Because Roman by himself, no.
Okay. So I want to
And
guess.
are we talking before or after the split? Or are we just talking for the whole year? For the whole year? It has to
The
be
whole year.
Whole
It
year.
have to be the whole bloodline.
Yeah.
Can't be just Roman.
Agreed. All right. So I want to guess from both of you as to who number 2 is, and I'm pretty sure y'all aren't gonna get it. Think hard about who you're answering to. That's the only hint I'm gonna give you. I think I just gave it away, but fuck it.
I know who it probably should be, but
Okay,
Yeah.
who should it be?
John
Moxley.
Oh.
Mox, it should be.
Okay, you think it's gonna be? You think it should have been Mox? Fair.
Yes.
Who?
So I guess that means it's not.
It's either so if Freddie's reading it, it's either John Cena or Bad Bunny.
Take a guess.
Probably Cena.
I gave it away.
Cena.
It's Cena.
Even though he only made one fucking appearance,
Exactly.
and it was on the last day of the year.
That's why people are not taking this shit seriously. These awards are bullshit for the most part. Some of the shit they get right, but then you got shit like this, and then at the number 3 spot you got CM Punk, which controversy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey,
Maybe before July. Oh.
before September.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
September. Whenever.
Yeah.
Well, that
Well-
was the majority of the year, I guess.
Yeah. If you don't like this list, just go at Dave Meltzer.
Yeah,
Oh, this is a Meltzer list. No wonder it's so
yeah,
fucked
it's a
up.
Meltzer
Yeah.
list.
No wonder it's fucked
Well,
up.
but
I
and
should have known that.
and then there's but then there's stuff like this though. Feud of the year. FTR versus the Briscoes. Yeah, you got it right. And even though it ended in controversy, I like number 2. I sort of agree with as well. CM Punk versus MJF. That was good shit.
Yeah, and that was months before all the brawl out stuff happened. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was good.
And I agree with the third one as well, even though they spelled it wrong. So I'm going to read it how they spelled it. Taking the number 3 spot, our newcomer on this list, never before heard of this guy, Corey Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. Little typo there.
Wait a minute. This man's an idiot. How can we have the feud of the year not include the best story of the year? How can you have the best feud of the year and not include anything that has to do with the bloodline at all?
Again, that's where this falls apart a little bit. Because I understand FTR Briscoes.
Right.
I even understand for how epic it was, even though it ended in disaster, CM Punk MJF.
Nah, whatever.
The promos were fire, bro.
Yeah,
The promos
Bloodline
were
was better.
fire.
Bloodline is better.
and it actually started in 2021, the night before Thanksgiving, when CM Punk called MJF a less famous Miz.
Yeah. But hey, we got there. So, yeah. Like I said, that's where it kind of falls apart a little bit. So, most improved, top spot on that is The Acclaimed.
Yeah, I saw that. I agree with that.
I agree with it as well. Most
They-
charismatic.
Wait, have they improved or they just become faces instead of heels?
Most improved.
Improved.
Right. I'm saying, did they improve or they just become faces and everybody likes them now?
They definitely improved, I
Well,
would say.
improved as far
I
as
don't-
like in ring.
Yeah.
I don't know if they did. I just think they became faces and everybody likes them instead of hating them.
No, I think they definitely improved. In
Agree to
ring.
disagree.
Cool.
I still wouldn't put them as most improved.
All right, who would you put as most improved?
I don't know. It's not them.
All right.
Jamie
Well,
Hayter.
She took the third. She's third on that list.
About somebody like Willow Nightingale.
Still kind of fresh
Yeah.
and hasn't been around enough, I think. But yeah, I could see what you mean.
Dominic. Oh no, wait.
Nah, fuck
Sorry.
that.
Hook.
Yeah, Hook over Dominic.
Yeah.
Dominic would know what to do if Hook was standing in front of him.
I think Dominic would win the least improved.
Yes. Going back 2-3
He
years.
didn't. He's going backwards.
Yeah. All right.
That's what prison does to you.
For for most charismatic,
Christian. Oh.
no, not Captain Charisma.
No, it's the charismatic enigma.
Jeff Hardy.
All right. Taking the top spot on most charismatic, MJF. I would have put him at number 2.
Yeah.
And I would have put number 2 at number 1, being Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And number 3, I don't acknowledge you on this list, Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
No.
Roman Reigns. Without the rest of the bloodline, Roman Reigns would have as much personality as he did back in 2016.
Yeah.
I will say he might be one of the ones that has gotten better on the mic than he was back then.
I mean, he's gotten better, but he's still not anywhere near the level of a Sami Zayn or MJF. But he has gotten better. But if it wasn't for the Sami Zayn in this storyline, it wouldn't be where it's at.
Where would this storyline be without Sami
Yeah.
Zayn?
Yeah. All right, I'm going to give you one wild guess as to who won the Bryan Danielson Best Technical Wrestler Award.
Well, I already saw it. Was it Bryan Danielson?
Yes.
He's won it for
Bryan-
the 11th time.
Yeah. Bryan Danielson won the Bryan Danielson Award.
Yeah, that's the best technical wrestler.
Yeah.
Must be tough having to win your own award.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's always been dominant. It's either Bryan Danielson or Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah. And in a third, it was Daniel Garcia.
So I'm guessing Zack Sabre Jr. was second.
Yeah. And
I mean, Daniel Garcia, that's a good shout. I like that.
yeah. And we don't have to say it because you already did for the Bruiser Brody Memorial Award.
Yeah.
That was John Moxley. But this is a top tier list, top 3 though. So it's John
Right.
Moxley, then it's Ishii, then it's Minoru Suzuki. Like, what the fuck is that list, bro?
Murder Grandpa.
Yeah, Murder Grandpa. Fucking still hurting the shit out of people.
And yes, Ishii can brawl with the best of them too.
Yeah. Yeah, so I agree with those 3.
I want to see Now I want to see that triple threat, that 3-way. That John Moxley, Ishii, and Suzuki.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that. As soon as I saw those 3 names there, I was like, that would be a match. Forbidden Door.
Yes.
Forbidden Door, please.
Yeah.
All right. Andrew's gonna agree with best flying wrestler. Even though El Hijo del Vikingo took the top spot, still you need to look him up, bro. He's good.
Yeah.
Taking the second place is Ray Phoenix, and third spot Dante Martin.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. And
Somebody we might want to consider for future reference.
okay,
Jake Paul. Or Logan Paul.
Logan Paul.
Logan. Yeah,
Get your paws right.
get your paws right.
My paws. Oh.
Tall Paul.
Tall Paul. Okay. So I spoke to Johnny about this part of the list. Most overrated. If you
That's easy.
okay, who's most overrated?
Jade Cargill.
Not even on the top 3.
I know, that's why Meltzer's an idiot.
Okay. So taking the top spot on most overrated is Ronda Rousey. I don't think she should be in that spot.
No.
The only
That's what that Meltzer's an idiot.
and I'm gonna be completely honest, and some people are gonna hate what I'm gonna say. I even bumped my mic. I'm getting a little bit excited here. Okay. The reason Ronda Rousey is on the top spot for the most overrated is because people hate her.
Right.
Like, hate that she came from MMA into pro wrestling, had a magnificent first year, and has kind of fizzled out since then. And they just think she's shit.
I don't think he goes by. He just goes by what the fans think.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And yeah, we should listen to us at times, but sometimes we're wrong. And this is one of those cases. And number 2 is Tyrus, which, sure.
I don't know
Who
who
cares
that
for
is.
Tyrus?
He's the NWA champion,
Oh.
and he's overrated because everybody just talks about how much of a shit wrestler he is.
Yeah. And number 3, Roman Reigns. Sure.
No.
That's where you want to put him, fine.
No.
He doesn't need to be there though.
No.
Like, he's not the best either, but he's
He's certainly not the most overrated, no.
no. Now to most underrated. Taking the top spot, Takeshita. Which he's working his way up. So
Yeah.
we just got to give him some time. And he's already proven he can go. So he's just going to keep on growing.
I could see him being Rookie of the Year next year.
Yeah. Taking the second spot, Chad Gable. Give him a more serious character, and
Yeah,
he won't
see
be
that.
as underrated.
Put him in AEW.
Yeah. And watch him fly up that list.
I don't think he's underrated.
He's
Everybody knows how good he could be. So that's not underrated if everybody knows how good of a technical wrestler you are. It's just the
need to
characters
be
they...
utilized better.
Yeah, they need to give him a serious character.
And
So
number...
So that's not underrated to me because everybody knows how good he could be.
Most people know. Yeah. I'll agree with you on that.
I mean,
Number...
he was in the Olympics for crying out loud.
And, okay, number 3, I think you can make the same argument for that you just made for Chad Gable. Ricochet.
Yeah.
Speaking
Everybody
of
knows
high
how good-
flyers, yeah.
Yeah,
Everybody knows how good he is. That's not underrated. I know they don't give him the chances to perform like the titles and stuff that he could probably do, but he's out there every week, isn't he? How's it underrated?
Yeah.
And Andrew's gonna get Twitter just so he can tweet Dave Meltzer.
No, I'm not
He'll
getting
make the
Twitter. I just know-
intern get it.
Yeah.
I just know Meltzer's an idiot.
He'll make the intern get it, but on his wife's phone, just so he doesn't get all the notifications.
I'll make the intern get it on his phone.
Or that's an easier battle to
Yeah.
win.
Yeah.
Smart man. That's why you're married and we're not. Okay, rookie of the year. I'm gonna go directly to 2 and 3 because I want y'all to think of a guess for number 1 while I'll tell you 2 and 3. Taking the second spot, Hook.
Okay, I mean, you can't really call him a rookie anymore. That was last year, and I think he did win last year.
Yeah. Taking the third spot, Logan Paul. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Because he's shocked us. So I can see why he would be in the top 3. Number 1 just falls way out of place for me. And so I'm going to give y'all a hint again, which might give it away. Deserves a name change. Needs the name change, is what I should have said.
Braun Breaker.
There you go.
I can agree with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I said, when we did our picks for the year, he's been here, a year, and he's been NXT champion for 10 months of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see that. Like I said, and it's something you've said here, I've said, Johnny said, all 3 of us have said it. Name change. Acknowledge who he is.
Acknowledge who his father is. Let him use that name.
Yeah, let him be Rex Steiner.
Yeah.
Or Braun Steiner.
Yeah. Something Steiner. He can be a superstar on the main roster.
Yeah.
If you just give him the acknowledgement of his family.
Which, hey,
'Cause
they have changed some names lately now that they're going on the main roster. So that's one of the things they could do. If they
And look
bring
how
him
much
up.
they talk about. Hell, even Dom and Charlotte brought it up yesterday. We are generational stars. We have parents that were in this business.
Yeah.
And it makes, so it just makes sense to have him go back to his family name. It makes him and look at Cody, look at Roman, look at all the bloodline. It makes sense to do it.
Yeah. When you have that lineage, it makes sense. Just do it. All right.
I know you didn't want to jump on NXT as Steiner and you wanted to prove yourself. You've done that. Now it's time to go back to your name.
Yeah. Now acknowledge who you are. Yeah, that's what I would do. All right. Best non-wrestler, taking the top spot there, Paul Heyman.
Yes.
I was gonna guess Paul Heyman.
Yes.
Second,
His face.
Yeah.
William Regal.
Yeah. Okay.
Third, Don Callis.
I guess. I mean, if he needed to put somebody at third.
Yeah. I'm just gonna leave it at yeah. Best television announcer, taking the top spot,
I saw that.
Kevin Kelly.
Yes. I agree. I know y'all haven't heard many New Japan events. I mean, y'all heard him on Forbidden Door, but yeah, he's really good considering he started out as backstage interviewer in WWE during the Attitude Era.
And I did tell you the other day that from the New Japan shows I have seen, I can tell how much he has grown.
Yeah.
So, taking the second spot, Excalibur.
Hmm.
And the third spot, Ian Riccaboni.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Top three. Right? Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with those.
And for worst television announcer, I agree with two of them, and I feel bad for the other one.
Wait, I haven't seen this one.
The one you feel bad for is Jim Ross.
It's Jim Ross.
Yes.
Well,
We can't fault him for old age, man. Come
What
on.
number is he?
It's not his fault. He's the third spot.
Okay.
Taking the top spot, Corey Graves. But you can.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah.
You can. I would make more of an argument for who took the second spot, Booker T.
Yes.
I think Booker T would be number one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
definitely.
Booker T doesn't
But I-
know anything about NXT.
But I don't know if I'd agree with Corey Graves.
No.
No.
I would put Kevin Patrick on there.
All right.
Yeah.
And due to what time it is, I'm just gonna name off the last couple of here real quick. Best major wrestling show, Forbidden Door.
Okay.
I could see it.
Yeah.
Worst major wrestling show, Royal Rumble.
Yes.
it
Definitely.
wasn't good.
No.
Best wrestling maneuver, Hidden Blade by Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you all a quick guess on most disgusting promotional tactic.
Is it contract tampering?
Close, but no. Vince McMahon appearing on television for a crowd pop after sexual misconduct allegations. Worst television show, Raw.
Wow.
Worst
Okay.
match of the year, Pat McAfee versus Vince McMahon. Worst feud of the year, The Miz versus Dexter Lumis.
Yeah.
Worst promotion of the year, WWE.
I don't agree with half this stuff.
Best Booker, Tony Khan, which we already said.
Yeah.
Promoter of the year, Tony Khan. Best gimmick, Sami Zayn. Worst gimmick, Maximum Male Models.
Yeah. They haven't done anything.
Yeah. And that was it. So yeah, it was a pretty shit list. There
Yeah.
was some good things here and there.
Well, it's Meltzer. What do you expect?
Yeah.
Give me Dio Madden and Mansoor.
Yeah. I will ask you a small favor. And I don't know what y'all can fill time with. But just speak amongst yourself for a second and I'll be back.
Okay.
So Raw is the worst show.
I mean,
We just said earlier that we had put Raw above Rampage. How can Raw be the worst show if you had put it above Rampage?
right.
So Raw should be the worst show.
I mean, Rampage is mainly bad because it's in a bad time slot. You know, it's a Friday night. It's after SmackDown. You know, if you're on the East Coast, it's at 10 o'clock at night. It's a Friday night, so, you know, a lot of people
Right.
are out anyway. I mean, Raw, you know, they've had their bad moments, not as much as when Vince was around, but it's had, you know, it's ups and downs, but it's been better than it was.
Yeah.
And yeah, Tony Khan, he's won the best booker 3 years in a row and best
Uh,
for
like I
4
said.
years.
Like I said. If you make Jade Cargill 53-0 and no losses, you don't need to be best booker. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. Do you think she should be 53-0?
No.
Exactly. So how can he be best booker if he booked that crap?
So this
Like I
AEW.
said, we don't even have to give it to.
Yeah.
You don't even have to give it to WWE. You could give it to the New Japan, somebody in New Japan, or Impact.
Yeah. So this new AEW All Access show, I heard some people say because it's going to replace the Slap Fight show,
Power Slap.
Power Slap. Yeah, that you could have it could be a similar show just hosted by Jeff Jarrett and just called Slap Nuts.
I remember bringing that up.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
wouldn't hurt, man.
A lot of those last few years
Actually, it would hurt.
I don't agree with.
It would hurt. Remember
I was telling
slapping the nuts?
Like I was telling Johnny, how can Raw be the third worst show when everybody wants it above Rampage as the third best show?
Yeah. Hey, man. You said it yourself. This list is shit. Like,
He
it
he
makes
hits
sense.
on half. He hits on a quarter of it, or half of it, whatever. I don't care. Half of it he knows very well. Half of it, it's stupid. Stupid as shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the issue.
And how many
people are
people
having.
agree with that statement?
So many.
Exactly. So why do we even go by what he says anymore?
We're not.
Exactly.
He's getting out of touch with the product. He's like Vince
He
McMahon.
is.
Yeah,
He is.
he's been around as long as Vince. He's been doing this since the early 80s.
Yeah.
Does he even watch the shows he's commenting about?
I would say no.
I mean,
think he does
considering
either.
he gives every match a star rating, so
I don't know if it's possible to watch every damn match on every show out there.
it's kind of like the people the people that run CageMatch.net, because Cage Match, if you look, they show you a list of every wrestling event that went on in the world on any day. And it shows you the whole card rundown, who won what match and how long it went. It's got to take like a whole team to go through all those stats.
Yeah. And that's what I was about to say.
Does he have a team do this for him?
I mean, it's just I know Brian Alvarez is. I don't know who else. But
He probably has a close group of people that come to him and just be like, "Hey, look, this match here, this was a 5-star,"
yeah.
and that's what he goes by.
But does
I
he?
know.
and he probably watches mainly the main promotions.
Yeah. Mainly just WWE. Let's be real. But
Yeah.
yeah. Then,
Well, evidently he has a hard on for AEW too. So,
not as much as WWE though.
well, not if. Well, he has to if he gives Tony Khan Booker of the Year.
But that's an obvious one though, I would say.
No, it's not. I done explained this. This is not obvious.
It is.
No, not if Jade Cargill is still 53-0, and you're still your champ.
But
You can't be Booker of the Year.
as a whole,
No, but you got to consider the good with the bad. You can't just say, "Oh, let's just cut this one part out and let's look at the rest of it. It's good." No, that's not how it works. You have to consider the bad too, and that's so bad it deserves not to be number one.
okay, then I'm gonna counteract you with something else. You can't put over a promotion with one really good thing when the rest of it is mediocre at best.
I'm not. I didn't say WWE should be number one. I said make New Japan Booker of the Year.
Way to go, Gato. You win.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I get you.
I'm not saying it should be Triple H. It could be Gato. Somebody from Impact. I don't even watch Impact.
Scott D'Amore.
whoever. They could be number one for all I know.
Billy
I just
Corgan.
know, it's not AEW.
There you go. Billy
Jade
Corgan.
out there. With the promotion, the way you're promoting Jade, it just can't be him.
I wouldn't pick Billy Corgan either because he made Tyrus his champion.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of things we could nitpick here, but
Yeah.
we just felt like we had to go through this list because of the issues that people were having with it, and it's obvious that there's big issues there just because of us going back and forth about it as well.
And I'll tell you how I really feel about Jade. In case you
Yeah.
want to know. Oh.
We'll all say how we really feel about Jade. Yeah, and no, we've spoken way too much about her on this podcast.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was the week in wrestling, man. Ever since Elimination Chamber and just the way everything's gone down and leading towards WrestleMania, it's gonna pick up even more, even though there's only 5 weeks left, and it's gonna be a real interesting time.
Yeah. Well, we also got Revolution next Sunday.
Yeah, which I have to speak to you about the plan because I did figure some things out.
Okay.
But yeah, we got Revolution coming up next Sunday, and then Mania a month after that, roughly. So it's going to be a very fun time. But to see how this goes, like always, it is time to stump the brain.
Okay. Roman Reigns. His reign is, I think, at 907 days as Universal Champ. It's like 325 with both of them, but let's go with the longer one.
Yeah.
I want to know who has a longer reign in history, WWE history. 4 men have a longer reign. Can you name them?
4 men?
Yes.
Well, okay. Well, obviously Bruno Sammartino.
Who has 2 different reigns longer than that?
Bob Backlund. Hulk Hogan. Pedro Morales.
Very good.
Nice.
Bruno Sammartino was his first one was 2,803. His second one was 1,237. Pedro Morales is 1,027. Bob Backlund was 2,135, and Hulk Hogan was 1,474.
Oh, Bob Backlund with the cross-faced chicken wing.
Yeah. We saw him do that live.
Hell yes, we did.
Yeah,
man.
we were at WrestleCon in New Orleans, and we were standing in line for one of the meet and greets, but we saw from far away. He put somebody in the chicken wing.
Not gonna lie, made me kind of want to get that meet and greet just to be like, hey, I want what that guy got. Give me the cross-faced chicken wing. But yeah, man. It's like I said, it's gonna be a very interesting month and a half, especially with the fallout after WrestleMania if they do it right. So yeah we're
So-
gonna.
We have to see how far they get and let Roman get
Yeah.
compared
That-
to these other guys.
I think Friday is going to be very defining as to what's going to happen. I think this next week is going to define a lot going into WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So
Like-
we're just going to have to wait and see. And
Are they gonna-
especially,
Is Roman going to lose it, or is he going to keep it at WrestleMania?
It would be a bad move if he kept it.
yeah, I would say he definitely has to lose it. So that's just what we hope for and what we know a lot of people hope for as well. So, and like I said, WWE is going to have to put up a hell of a week in shows because of it also being the go home week for Revolution. They're definitely going to want to step their game up. So we'll have to see how that goes. But like always, if you have any questions or comments, WrestleLost@gmail.com, WrestleLost on Facebook, and don't forget to give us a follow here on Twitch and on YouTube. We are live all over the place now. And don't forget to follow, subscribe, do all that jazz. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting week. Hope everybody enjoys the rest of their weekend, and we will see you all next week.